The following has been brought to you by SJP World Media.
Hey, yo.
I genuinely thought you'd forgot the video had ended then.
No. Hey, yo. Good evening, all. Magsy, it's been a little while, my friend.
Yeah, Laugh has done some ass kicking recently, hasn't it? But we're back on it.
We are indeed. We are indeed back here again with Chain Wrestling Live. A lot to talk about, Magsy, haven't we? We've got a massive non-wrestling topic. The response to that has blown me away. So many people.
Yeah, shocking. I mean, it was a really good idea from whoever came up with that topic.
It was. Whoever came up with that was a genius. Big Bob.
No, in fact, if you're gonna mention Big Bob, we're gonna start. I've got some critiques to your new opening video.
Okay.
Massively love the fact that it's a tribute. But I've got a few nitpicky things that piss me off about it.
Okay. What a surprise. Go on.
One, why does my character look like Tom Selleck and the Edge from U2 had a love child?
I thought your character looks badass, mate. Bandana, lead guitar, I
mean the lead guitar, but it just looks a little bit nonsense.
Does he really? So are you saying Tom Selleck looks like a nonce?
Are you saying he doesn't?
Well, yes, that's Tom Selleck. That's Magnum
Anyway.
PI. Magnum PI is not. And just for the record, that's less than 4 minutes before we start talking about nonsense. That's got to be a record.
Okay. Well, before we get into any legal hoo-ha, let's go on to point 2. You look like you're mid-tour for promoting your one-hit wonder Cotton Eye Joe. And the third and the most egregious, the one I hated the most, when did that big furry bastard behind you get promoted to co-host?
Mate, he's the most over out of the three of us.
I get that, but he wasn't there in the days when nobody watched us or nobody listened to us. He's come along.
Only.
Yeah, he's come along and claimed the glory. Yeah.
I didn't think that. What a glory hog. God damn it, Bob.
Yeah. Aside from that, a brilliant intro. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it. And most Southern rock as well, mate. It's the closest I could get to sneaking Barry Windham's entrance theme into our intro without actually using Barry Windham's entrance theme.
I would have reported that to the WWE myself.
Yeah, and we'd have had a copyright strike because the host has reported us.
I would have took the channel down in flames.
Oh, dear me. Yes, we have a huge non-wrestling topic to discuss about changing your opinion or changing your mind. So many responses, you fickle bastards. Changing your mind left, right, and centre. We have, well, Magsy, you said yourself you've got a Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame to put forward.
I have.
I'll say I have not, but I kind of have, I suppose. Mine could be conscribed as a Hall of Fame, I suppose, but we'll get to that shortly. Okay. We have a wrestling match from the Survivor Series. So obviously an elimination match, put my teeth in. So that's quite a bit to talk about there. 8 guys getting, eliminated one after the other. So a bit to talk about there. So yeah, lots to get through, mate. And you said a couple of surprises as well that I'm unaware of. So that always worries me. Always worries me.
Terrifies. You don't get excited about it. You get
nervous.
Scared.
Okay. I'm nervous. But anyway, on that note, just because that little chat gives us a chance to get people along to the show, find the live, click watch, and all that sort of stuff. I suppose now we better start the show for the first time in a long time. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever and whenever you may be listening or watching from. This is Chain Wrestling Live with Mags and Si, an SJP World Media Production, episode 149. I am Si. And with me, as always, is the Underdog. Reference to the match, look, Magsy. That's clever, isn't it, eh? See? It's going well so far. The Underdog.
Yeah, you go with it, though. That's the issue.
To my Lederlog, because I had a big greasy Chinese last night. You having that one?
That just sounds horrid. Sounds horrid.
Okay. The Body Donna. That's the team the Underdogs faced. So that works as well. The Body Donna to my body like an aging Maradona, little bit flabby. A podcaster who regularly watches 8 sweaty men rolling about, but I'm not referring to the Survivor Series matches. This is his own private video collection. The Podfather himself, Lord Mags. I've missed you, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've missed you too. I like the way. Probably genuine. I like the way that on those tenuous comedy links that you put in there, you now have to explain the joke because they're that bad. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of it that way.
But yeah, it's been quite a busy week in my household. I don't know if you've seen any of my recent TikTokies, but Carlos and I know you haven't. Carlos and I have we've started to deep dive more into the farming. We've set up a couple of raised bed gardens to grow some. We've got herbs in one, and then a load of vegetables in another. That took some graft this weekend. So yeah, we've got some carrots and lettuces and spring onions and leeks and all kinds of shit growing in our garden now. Yeah, so we've had it very busy.
Good Life. It's like an episode of The Good Life.
We're going off grid very soon. Going self-sufficient.
Apart from that last with the blonde hair who got a great cracking arse, didn't she, in those jeans? What was her name? I can't remember. Who was the lady in the Good Life CWF? Let us know. Obviously, she's aged now because this was the 70s. Probably hasn't got such a great arse anymore. But back then, she looked
such a misogynist. Sar's opinions do not go for the whole of chain wrestling.
Do they not? Felicity Kendall. Ben jumps in. Well done, Ben. Thank you so much. That's the last. That's the last indeed. There was lots of wrestling as well, Magsy, this weekend, wasn't there?
There was.
Backlash was on. Good show.
How bloody good was Backlash?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I forgot it was on.
And it's a cushy one for us. It was like
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock start.
Yeah,
we were banging, absolutely banging. That crowd were just on fire all night long. Absolutely loved it. Great matches. Really good in-ring action. The introduction of Tangaloa, which I got a massive pop from because I honestly thought it was going to be Jacob Fatu. So yeah, I thought it was a cracking little show.
Yeah, it was good stuff, mate. It was good stuff. Yeah, loads going on indeed. We got my granddaughter here at the moment. She's downstairs. She's staying the night. So if anyone does hear a little one screaming away and so on, it is somebody in my house who is supposed to be here. It's not somebody trying to yell for freedom or anything like that. Don't worry. But yeah, hopefully she won't wake up now. She's quite good in the evenings, to be fair. She's very good in the evenings. And my good lady Sharon is downstairs watching the TV and keeping an eye on her as she snoozes. But if she wakes up whilst we're live, which I don't think she will, because that's not her routine. She should sleep now till the early hours. But if she wakes up whilst we're live, she may pop her head in, my granddaughter, just to say hi to everyone. As a little...
Because she's mastered climbing the stairs.
Oh, yeah, that totally, yeah. It's an absolute fucking nightmare, mate. But mentioning my good lady, Sharon, I see she is in the chat already. So shall we dive into the chat, Max, and have a little run through and see who else has joined us on this bank holiday Monday evening?
Yes, and thanks before we get into that. Thank you for joining us on this day where you could be doing absolutely anything. We massively appreciate it, and thanks for sticking by us whilst we had our little bit of a enforced sabbatical. But we start with Connor, who says, "Hello, you sexy blokes. Long time no see. Unfortunately, I'll be at work during the duration of the live show, so I will have to watch him reply later and have a chat with the guy who schedules me for Mondays. Yeah, just ringing sick Mondays, working on a Mondays is for the birds. Yeah, nobody needs to do it." Sar left himself muted because he's an arsehole. James in the chat says, "Yeah, I'm all right, guys. Hello, James. How are you?" Sharon, the first lady of the CWF, says, "It's Monday night, and you know what that means. Stranger in the lab."
Oh, fantastic.
Total Steve-O, CWF royalty, says he's going to listen in live for once whilst watching Man United. We massively appreciate that, Steve-O, and glad to see you here, sir. Dan Griffin, hello, sir. How are you? He says, "Evening all. How are we, CWF?" And he says, "Big Bob on the drums." Big Bob is in the bad books. Just leave it at that, Dan. No more Big Bob talk here. He's muscled his
over
way
my
in.
Shoulder. Smug bastard.
Shit. Turn him around so he's facing the fucking wall. Dan Griffin says, "Why has Sar's nose got an arsehole?" I mean, he's very conscious of his nose, and he don't want you bringing it up, Dan. So that's upsetting.
Surgery, mate, has got me to where I am. Cost me a lot of money. Before that, I was Daniela Westbrook all over again. Trust me.
King Pigman is in the chat. Hello, sir, and he's again stepped up and done some amazing graphics. Which again, I love the fact that he does our graphics. It's absolutely brilliant. But he made you Marty Jannetty, which I thought was absolutely bullshit. I ended up being I think Radford. Was it Radford I ended up?
Yeah, or is that that's is that Bob Holly or is that Rob? I can't think. My head my head is actually in the way, so I can't see.
I don't think I was Bob Holly. But anyway, I was not happy at that. But thanks for being in the chat, King Pig Banners.
It's the best Jannetty has ever looked, by the way. Let's be honest.
The least coked up, definitely.
Yes, indeed.
Ben in the chat. Hello, sir. How are you? He says, "Evening all." And King Pig Banners says, "Evening CWF. How are you doing?" And Ben is fragrant. I love Ben's control of the English language.
Yeah.
Like, we sound like proper commoners to Ben. Don't we?
You probably do.
He ups the mental capacity of this audience by about 50 points, doesn't he?
We're back recording Nitro Nights as well these 2 days, today and tomorrow, getting some in the bank so we can start releasing again and so on. And I bet that whole time he's just banging his head on his desk. That fucking Gloucester prick. Why can't he speak properly?
Mags was right. He's a fucking farmer. And then with that, apologies. Charlie in the chat. Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Charlie.
Sorry for the cursing. I'm a naughty boy.
You're not at all.
I'm definitely not sorry. Ben says CDRF for the win. So, yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what CDRF stands for. It stands for winning. It stands for community and wrestling sometimes.
Maybe.
Yeah. King Pig Bladder says he's full of the joys of spring. Oh, and Ben, we have all missed you.
Yeah.
And says leeks are like onion flavored rolling pins. So I detest onions. I cannot stand them. Just the thought of eating onions just makes my skin crawl.
Because you're very weird. Yeah.
I make no apologies for it. I am very, very weird when it comes to food, but
okay.
I love leeks. Absolutely love leeks, even though they are essentially a flat onion.
But they're really weird. Like, onions have a kick, don't they? They have that onion sort of,
out of the window.
No, but leeks don't have that, do they? Are leeks sharp? Are leeks hot?
No, leeks are a lot plainer. There's no, I think you've described it best. There's no kind of oniony kick. But the thing is, I like the flavor of onions. It's the texture. It's the crunching on an onion that just makes my skin creep.
Fair enough.
Dan Griffin says, can't wait for summer when Mags will have a straw hat on and a piece of hair sticking out of his mouth, calling Barry Windham a cunt. I mean, I don't need a straw hat or a piece of hair in my mouth. I'll call Barry Windham a cunt any day of the week.
Fantastic. 15 minutes in, 2 C-bombs and nonce talk. My word, it's like we've never been away.
Exactly. I've got loads to catch up on. King Pligsweather says Felicity Kendall's character was called Margot.
No. Margot was the neighbour. Margot was the posh neighbour, wasn't she?
I have no idea. I remember what it's the what is it? Richard Bryers, the character.
That's it. And Richard Bryers' missus, I think that was Felicity Kendall.
Right.
Margot is the neighbour, I think. Unless I'm getting that wrong, we're going to need someone to Google it now.
Well, I'm sure our audience with their fountain of knowledge will be able to correct the record. Ben said someone at the show measured the Cody War at 123 decibels.
Wow.
The song they were singing when every time AJ Styles did any kind of offense, they're phenomenal. The crowd was wild all the way through. So it was brilliant, and it just shows European crowds are way better than American ones. And I saw a tweet from somebody, and I can't remember who it was, and they said, "Oh, this was fun for the first half an hour, but it's getting a bit boring that the crowd are cheering on now. Bring back shows to America." I'm thinking, you miserable bastard. Weapon. Yeah, you absolute melt. That crowd made that show way better than it was. King Pigsweather says, "Whoa, indeed."
Oh, and indeed.
Then Sharon says, "Oh no, football."
Yeah, I know. We're shit. United are shit. We're a little bit down in the chat. We have somebody who explains what's happening. But yeah, United are shit. I wasn't expecting us to do anything tonight.
I mean, at least you're not damn near relegated.
Wow. This is true.
All right. Let's have a laugh at magazine. It could be worse. We could be Burnley. Ben says enunciate commoners, and then James has given us the score so far. Palace 1 up, football on mute. You lads in my ears. It ain't bad for a Monday, exactly.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, James.
And Ben, he comes with the knowledge Penelope Keith was Margot.
Yes, that's right. There you go.
And then Dan says everyone who complained about the crowd was American. All just felt shown up. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And that is the chat all caught up with.
Fantastic stuff. Awesome stuff. Thank you again. So many people joining us. It's brilliant. I love it so much. Magsy, what do you want to dive into first? Because you say you got a couple of surprises. We've got Hall of Fame fame. You're very much in charge because I don't know what's going on. So what are we going to do?
We're going to do the Hall of Fame first.
Okay. Angry chicken is angry. What you got for us, my friend?
So, as we've just been talking about, the wrestling community can sometimes be a bunch of mardarters, can sometimes be a bunch of sweaty basement-dwelling virgins. The battles between WCW, WWE, and AEW, the kind of gatekeeping about wrestling, it's just very tribalistic is wrestling. But every now and again, the whole of the wrestling community comes together and they make magic.
Okay.
And this past week, this community have been absolutely amazing because they've taken technically an independent wrestler, British Joe Hendry, and they have ran with him. They have lifted the guy up on their collective shoulders, and they have made him a worldwide superstar to the point where he was getting articles in major newspapers in the UK. He was getting interviews on the BBC, and he's got a song in the charts He ended up in the download charts at number 6 in the UK, and in the actual record sales charts, he ended up at number 4. So my Hall of Fame for this week is the fact that this wrestling community got Joe motherfucking Hendry into the UK charts. And I've got a little Brucey bonus, and this is the first of my little treats for the CWF.
Okay.
I was telling Mrs. Maggs about how this phenomenon of Joe Hendry was coming about. And I mentioned that Joe Hendry wanted to beat Taylor Swift in the charts. And she, as a Swiftie, said, that will never happen. He will never beat Taylor Swift.
Okay, right.
And then she said, in fact, I'm that confident I'm going to bet on it. I said, all right. I said, what do I get if Joe Hendry beats Taylor Swift? She said, you have to come and do some resin work on her TikTok live channel, which is, I think, is at Lou's Resin Room.
Okay.
And I said, and then she said, but if you win, if Joe Hendry is able to beat Taylor Swift, she will sing some of Joe Hendry's song.
Oh.
Taylor Swift was number 9 in the charts. Joe Hendry was number 4. So, without further ado, making her audio debut on Chain Wrestling, Mrs. Maggs begrudgingly singing a little bit of Joe Hendry.
Fantastic.
So, CWF, after losing a bet, here is Mrs. Maggs and a rendition. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
That's all she would do. But yes, I got Mrs. Maggs to believe in Joe Hendry.
That is glorious. And she looks so overjoyed to be doing it as well.
She hated every minute of it. Every second of that, 25 seconds long, and she hated it.
Why? Oh, that was brilliant.
Believes...
Fair play to her. Fair play to her for sticking to it and doing it. Yeah, well done, Mrs. Maggs. That is awesome. Brilliant stuff. Well done. And well done, Joe Hendry, as well. Absolutely.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It wasn't going to be a Hall of Fame, Alling. It was just going to be a little quick thing I was going to say. But it does fit in with the Hall of Fame. And you're going to have to bear with me because I might get a bit emotional.
Take your time.
Right. As everyone is probably aware, my dad passed away a couple of weeks ago. And that's been one of the reasons why we had a bit of time off and all that sort of stuff. The people reaching out in our community, honestly, thank you so much. The messages I've received asking after me, asking after my family. Obviously, everyone's aware of my wife, my daughters, and my kids, and everyone like that. But people don't know my mum, they don't know my sister, but they asked after them. So I just want to say a huge thank you because it's been a very difficult time, as you can all imagine. It happened incredibly quickly. And we didn't make it public. There was a select few people who knew, there was a select few people who reached out and I mentioned it to them and so on. And it was very much kept not online for a while by the wishes of my family and so on. But I've been blown away by all the people, and Maxie, you're part of this as well. All the people messaging, checking in on me, leaving me be for a while, and then messaging me to say, we didn't want to keep pestering you, but we're here if you need us and all that sort of stuff. And then talk about they're going to be ready when the shows return and all that sort of stuff. We talk all the time about the CWF, our little community, our little corner of the internet we've built. And, CWF stands literally for Chain Wrestling Family. You guys named yourselves, and you couldn't have picked a better name, because it's so fitting for you crazy gang of bastards who join us on a Monday night or who listen to the podcast and so on. It's blown me away, and it's made me want to get back to doing this. I wouldn't say as quickly as possible, because I'm about to take time, but it's made me know that you guys are waiting for me to come back. You guys are waiting for me to come back and start recording shows again. The support I've had from my co-hosts, not pestering me when we're recording, but then when I said, hey, look, I recorded the Nitro Nights this afternoon, and Ben was like, yep, let's go, I'm ready to do it here, and so on. It's meant so much through an incredibly difficult time, as anyone can imagine. So that is my Hall of Fame entrant this week. It's the CWF, and every single one of you, you crazy, sexy motherfuckers. I fucking love you, and thank you so much. Thank you. That's it, really, mate.
I mean, I can't say any better than that. The CWF have been there with us from day one, and we absolutely love every single one of you. I mean, we have not had the most consistent recording. There's been a few times recently where we've had to take a week or two off here and there, but you guys have always come back. And as Sarah said, you've been so massively supportive in some of the worst times a person could go through, and we absolutely love you all for that. It's absolutely amazing. Rest in power, Ashley. Absolutely rest in power.
Yeah, thanks, mate. So yeah, again, thank you for tolerating me with that as well. Where do we go next, Maxie? What are we up to?
Are we on to the non-wrestling topic? Have we got there already?
Yeah, well, it's a good job. We're nearly half hour in, and we have a lot to talk about, haven't we? So
let's do it.
NWT time. Oh, no wrestling talk here. It's the non-wrestling topic.
Lovely.
Nice. Lovely. Nice.
Ooh, lovely.
Lovely.
So then. Magsy, not Big Bob. Magsy came up because Big Bob he contributes nothing, the uncreative bastard. He's just the eye candy. He just brings in the girls. A certain type of girl, but he brings them in. Wow. Magsy came up with the fantastic idea for a non-wrestling topic to basically talk about things that have changed your mind or you've changed your opinion on over the years, whether that's TV shows, movies. I know this is the non-wrestling topic, but wrestlers themselves or wrestling in any form, anything at all that has caused you to change your opinion, change your mind over the course of a short period of time, years, your life, whatever. And again, I want to say, you guys are absolute legends. The whole CWF are bloody fantastic, because I completely forgot to put the non-wrestling topic out. Completely forgot.
You're a pillock.
I'm a knobhead, mate. Until I was led in bed. It must have been gone midnight last night, and I was watching an episode of Nitro, and I suddenly just thought, "Oh shit, we're live tomorrow night." So I put it out then, and in the course of today, Bank Holiday Monday, we have had so many responses and so many suggestions. Again, I don't know why I keep being surprised by you guys, because you never let us down. You're fantastic. So, for the first time in a couple of weeks, Magsy, I will go through them in the order they came into us. And
it's going to be worse because you've had less than 24 hours to deal with it.
I just screenshot them, mate. I'll just go through the screenshots. So then they're literally in the order they came in. Yeah, because then I can just literally go bop, 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 and then when I get to the end, and when I'm swiping that way, and it won't move anymore, I know that's the last one.
Okay.
All right. So let's get on. We start off with our good friend Ben at Largely Speaking on Twitter. Are we there? Are we close? No, miles away.
I mean, what you could do just
Right.
before you start, you could literally just load up Twitter on your phone and then
Right.
just scroll through it at that time.
Yeah, but then some people respond to other people's comments, and I get all lost.
That is also true. Yeah.
And if Twitter does that stupid thing where it kind of refreshes, I lose everything, and I get in such a muddle, Mags. You know that. I can't be dealing with that. Ben says, Family Guy started amazing and's really funny, then just got a bit shit.
Not just a bit shit. It's a shadow of its former self.
Is it rubbish now? Is it?
I have not watched a full episode in about 4 years, but every time I catch one, it doesn't even make you laugh anymore. It's not even a giggle. Yeah, it's just tired. It's a tired show. Same with The Simpsons. The Simpsons is exactly the same. It's kind of jumped the shark now. Take it beyond the woodshed and put it out of its misery.
Okay. See, me and the good lady Sharon, when we first got together, we used to watch Family Guy because it would be on like ITV4, I think, or something like that, late at night. So we put it on telly when we go to bed, and she'd fall asleep first normally, and we'd watch Family. And I'd never seen it before until that point, and I used to fucking cry with laughter. I thought it was ridiculously funny. I guess I was put off because it was a cartoon. The same as I've never seen Rick and Morty yet because I'm put off because it's another cartoon.
Yeah, I've never watched a Rick and Morty episode.
No. Okay. But yeah, I've read that it's not aged well and not gone as well in later years. But the creator wanted to stop it a long time before now, didn't he? But then just kept on making it because of money.
Seth MacFarlane. Yeah. Well, it's been cancelled, I think, twice by the TV networks, and then keeps getting brought back.
Oh, okay. There we go. MGB Graham at MGB Graham on Twitter. He says, Peacock wasn't happy when the network disappeared, but now I get Premier League included at half the price of the network. And last year, only 99 cents a month on a deal. Why?
That's banging.
Okay. Because when the WWE network disappeared everywhere apart from here, well, in the States anyway, there was a lot of complaints and a lot of people, it wasn't working right. And the network here still acts a little bit funny for me now.
Yeah.
Since the updates and all that. But they get Premier League football included as well.
If they chucked in Premier League football as well, that's a banging deal.
Laughing with that,
$9.99 a month, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's a great shape. So far we've had one that has gone to shit and one that's improved. So we're 50-50, Max. Connor at Connor Knows Footy on Twitter. Don't think he 100% understood the mission here, Magsy. I don't think he 100% understood what we were talking about, because he says Silence in the Library, which is a Doctor Who story, David Tennant era, that we covered on the Doctor Who pod, Dan Griffin and I. Both thought it was very, very good. Connor says Silence in the Library. Thought it was shit when I first watched it. Then I'm assuming he means listened to the ranking episode of season 5 of the Doctor Who pod, which is where we put in order of preference all the stories we've covered that particular season. And Si and Dan made fun of me for calling it shit. So I watched it again after that episode I listened to, and newsflash, it's still shit. So he hasn't had his mind changed. He's still exactly the same. God bless.
It's just made him more adamant that it was shit.
And you are wrong. It's fucking fantastic. Connor continues. Steve-O is going to hate me for this one, but the bill and the British office.
Yeah, why throw the British office in, wanker, Connor?
That's why he's not here tonight.
You could have just stuck with the bill and I would have happily gone along with it. But throwing the British office in when you've made the shitty American office, oh, you rude, Connor.
He says he just couldn't get into them through the first watch. And then the second time he tried it again, he hated it even more. Just couldn't connect with any storylines or the characters. But both casts were great, though. So he's saying the actors did a good job. But
so maybe, Connor, it's it's a you problem, because if you can't enjoy either The Bill or The Office, the common denominator is you.
There we go. And somebody put, it's a shame, Magsy, that my other microphone, which is balanced precariously above my head, and I hope it doesn't fall.
I hope it donks you like crack.
My other microphone, the sound quality is nowhere near as good as I expected it to be, because I've got my little box for pressing buttons. Oh, I can show you actually, can I? It's not plugged in anymore. I've got my little box for pressing buttons and making noises and all that sort of stuff. I've got a button that does this little GIF that he's put up here that goes wrong, 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 wrong. But I can't play it now because I've unplugged it all, mate. It's a shame because we've got the GIF right in front of us.
I know. What an idiot.
What a pleb. James at Yalmorright on Twitter, he says, and I think this is a common one for people, and if they haven't sent it in, I imagine when we read it out, they will agree. Football still attends games, but mainly for the social. The game has been ruined by lizards in suits. Needs ripping up and starting again. TV-wise, The American Office.
Hate it.
Love the UK Office, so dubious at first. The first episode pilot was awful, but then it gets better, and the quality improves. So football, he says, is gone down in his opinion, and I think a lot of people will agree with that. It's
killed by money.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
And you look at the women's game and non-league football and lower level football, you still get a little bit of what you really want from that because the money hasn't crippled that yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And then The American Office says it started off shit and got better. I agree with this though, because the first season isn't very good.
I don't believe.
My God.
I mean, I can't really put my fingers in my ears because I've got headphones on, but
no,
I am not going to hear any more trying to manipulate me into watching more than one season of that trap.
But you watch the first season, which is shite.
Yeah. And that's enough chat from America that I needed to watch. It was lucky I gave it that much attention because I did it with the In-Betweeners and turned off after one episode because that was horrific.
Oh, the American In-Betweeners was awful.
And and you've used the RT crowd gif there. The American RT crowd was even worse. The fact it only got through a pilot and they went, fuck this, it's shit. So the American Office will always be shit.
Anyway, Dan Griffin at Dan Griffin 21 on Twitter, he says, most recent change of mind for me was for Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Watched it in the cinema on release and thought it was utter garbage. Watched it again yesterday and realized it's all right. Not brilliant by any stretch, but decent. Okay. I'm surprised no one. I've not seen it.
No. Do you know, I've watched the first one of the new trilogy. Was that, I don't think it was the Rise of Skywalker, was it? Anyway, the first one. I haven't watched the other two because it just didn't drag me back in.
Should have finished that Jedi and be done with it.
Yeah. They didn't. I mean, I didn't mind the second trilogy. It gets a lot of shit for it being more based around politics and stuff like that. But Kylo Ren, whatever he's called, it's a pillock. Yeah,
he's a pillock.
Killed Han Solo. I mean,
did he?
Iconic character. I've spoiled it for you. Sorry.
Like spoilers, Max. I didn't know Han Solo. I liked Han Solo. He was a bit of a dude, wasn't he?
Well, stick with the original trilogy then, because you won't see much of him in the new ones.
He gets turned into a fridge at one point, doesn't he? But
yeah, that's bollocks as well, isn't it? But
is it okay? Dan Griffin continues. The 2016 Suicide Squad. Watched in the cinema and thought it was good. Bought it on DVD, then realized it was mediocre. Watched it again and realized it was poor. Gave it a fourth shot. He's tenacious, at least. He's committed. Watched it again and realized it was poor. Gave it a fourth shot and realized it was mostly shite. Only film I've ever watched that gets worse every time you watch it.
Do you know, I have never understood the hate for that film. Maybe there was too much hype and too much expectation on it. But if you switch your brain off that, I think it's an enjoyable little comic book film. It's not going to win any awards or change the narrative filmmaking. But yeah, I didn't mind it. I don't get why people just detest it.
I don't think have I seen that one? Sharon in the chat. Have I seen that?
Sharon, he hasn't. He's not seen any film that's in colour. He's never seen a colour film yet.
I was watching Black and White Doctor Who yesterday, actually, to be fair.
There we go.
And Dan Griffin also says, it looks like my wife's updating the chat. United are now 2-0 down. Fantastic shite. Dan Griffin also says, National League football. Always kept an eye on how York City were doing, but didn't bother going to games as thought it'd be low quality and boring. Started going this year, and how wrong I was. Great fun, even in a relegation battle. No VAR or expected goals. Bullshit, ruining it. Lovely stuff. Yeah, non-league football is glorious. I spent so many years going to watch Gloucester City. I was lucky enough to see them in that tiny window of time where they were nearly successful, and we had a couple of good years.
Are they still non-league now?
Yes, mate.
Did they not get relegated out of all the leagues?
No. Oldest football club in the UK, to have never played in the Football League. 140 years. Now, that's a record.
That you should be proud of.
Yeah, indeed, mate. Indeed.
Yeah.
No, they got relegated out of the National League North, which is the one below the National League, to, I think, the Southern Premier or something like that. It was the Beezer Homes League back when I used to go watch.
Jesus, that is a throwback.
I don't even think Beezer Homes exist anymore.
They're playing places like the Red Lion and the Cross Keys pub teams, basically.
Swindon Supermarine. We played in the cup once.
Dan mentions in that one thing that fucking pisses me off about football. Expected goals. I hate all that statistic analysis about expected this, expected that. That is another thing that is also ruining football. You don't have to analyze it as deep as that.
No.
It's blokes chasing a ball around and kicking it into a net.
You can tell if you're watching the game. If you're watching, and a lot of these statistics, they don't give you what's actually happened. You need to form your own opinion. But a lot of these idiots on Twitter form their opinion on football on statistics alone. And it's just wrong. You can see if one team's had some good chances compared to the other. You don't need expected goals, bollocks. Come on,
exactly.
Stuff.
Dan in the chat says you're going to come with him to the away end to see Forest Green versus York City just to shout abuse at Forest Green.
Yes, because Forest Green got relegated from the Football League. So then I back in the National League. So I'm going to be a York City away fan on that day and just hurl abuse at all the inbreds from Stride. So there we go. Steve-O at Elite FPL _ Steve-O. He says, firstly, welcome back. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. He says, I'll start with wrestling. And stating the obvious, the Attitude Era. I thought it was incredible. However, when rewatching on replay, only thing I enjoyed was pretty much Austin, The Rock, and McMahon on screen with their promos, in-ring standoffs. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I always looked at the Attitude Era as a golden age of wrestling, but you go back and watch it now, and there is a lot of shit. There is a lot of shit mixed in with that, with those good moments, and it kind of reminds me of the whole point of when I was a part of the podcast, a change in attitude, where you almost paint a narrative for yourself, and the WWE help with this, of things happen and then all of a sudden it was absolutely amazing, like with Austin 316.
Yeah,
for months he was still in the doldrums. He was still kind of coasting, and you go back and watch some of that Attitude Era stuff. I watch revisiting the War on Wrestling Bios, and there is a lot of wank that went on during Raw and Nitro back then, and yeah, it's not as good as we kind of make it out to be.
Yeah, definitely so. Steve-O continues. I never really knew much about DX in the early days, especially when Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were introduced, and assumed their rivalry with Cactus Jack and Terry Funk was this incredible piece of TV and wrestling. In my opinion, watching it on replay, it was utterly appalling. I hated it. Talking of DX, I knew of Austin's rivalry and Shawn Michaels and Tyson, and I thought it was very good. But oh my God, that was legitimately incredible and gripping to rewatch. 99% of it, he says. 99% of Attitude Era wrestling I only knew via best of DVDs. So that's something from that era that's a positive that he's gone back and watched, and it's better than he remembers.
Yeah. I mean, Tyson needs to be given a lot more credit for how he essentially helped save the WWE when they were getting absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, definitely. Steve-O continues. CM Punk's 2011 run. Based on WWE narrative, he assumed that this was an incredible rise to the top. It wasn't. 4 weeks of golden TV leading up to Money in the Bank 2011, and then just fell off a cliff. I was really disappointed. Yeah, I remember Steve-O for his fantastic Total Steve-O podcast, which covers all sorts of wrestling, real life, and music, and just whatever Steve-O's thinking, he records and puts out. It's really, I love it. He started looking at WWE 2011 a while back, and we were messaging back and forth about it. And I said, if you want to watch the Punk stuff, I'll find a date, or we can look at it, start there. Don't watch the whole of 2011. And he's like, no, I'm going to watch it as it grows. And I was like, okay, you crack on. And he messaged me
on your head be it.
He messaged me back after a while going, my God, this is hard work. So yeah, he's right. But those 4 weeks were fantastic television with Punk, weren't they?
It makes up for the months and months of shit before it.
Oh, I don't know if it's that good. Steve-O also says, in fact, as Mags always says about Austin and King of the Ring 96, the reality is he blew up going into WrestleMania 14, and thereafter was this huge star. Revisionism history shows that between King of the Ring 96 and WrestleMania 14, Austin's rise was just okay. And no, I didn't particularly get on board with his rivalry with Brett. Okay, the rivalry with Brett I enjoyed. But you covered that yourself, Max, didn't you? Talking about a Change in Attitude podcast, which again was a fantastic show, and I wish it would come back. It was so good, and that rise, it is revisionist history. Isn't it? They make out that Austin cut the promo at King of the Ring, and then that was that. He was off to the races, but
he went back and fought Savio Vega about 5 more times.
Yeah, Savio Vega.
But I mean, I like Savio Vega as a wrestler, but as a character, he's very forgettable. But yeah, the WWE like to make you believe that Austin cut his promo, and then the next day everybody was wearing Austin 316 t-shirts, and no, it just didn't happen like that. It took a long while for him to make his way to become the big star that he was.
Indeed. When I initially watched Breaking Bad, albeit episode 1, I didn't get the hype. 5 years later, I watched on Netflix and think it's one of the greatest TV shows out there. What was I thinking? He said.
It's a great show. Absolutely great show. And Steve-O, when you catch up to this comment in about 10 minutes, look into the importance of colors in Breaking Bad. That gives you a lot more insight into the story.
Interesting. Okay. So is it worth me checking it out again then? Because I watched all of Breaking Bad and I stuck with it right to the very end. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but it wasn't this groundbreaking, amazing thing that everyone talks about. So have I missed stuff? Should I go back and watch it again?
I mean, it's definitely a show that you can go back and re-binge. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And knowing the kind of overarching story, it'll give you the opportunity to look out for those little Easter eggs and the links between characters and their own little character arc. So yeah, it's definitely worth rewatching.
Okay. I mean, I probably won't get that because I can't remember anything about it. So,
and you probably won't watch it again anyway. So that was all pointless.
Waste of time. I'll cut that out, the audio version. Steve also says, now my dad should be certain of showing me The Thing at a very young age, and I was traumatized by it and never wanted to watch ever again. Many years later, I revisited it. I've seen it at least 30 times and is evidently now one of my favorite films. Again, I suppose at age you see it, if you're scared at the beginning, you probably are going to be put off for a while, aren't you?
Yeah. I think I've only ever seen The Thing once. It's the one, Is it Kurt Russell? It's the one with Kurt
I've never
Russell
seen it, so I don't know.
Yeah, with the alien in I think it's in, is it in Norway? They actually give the story away at the beginning, but the characters talking in Norwegian, I think.
Right.
But yeah, it's an alien film where the alien takes over people, not just people, but animals and creatures' bodies. And at the end, you can't tell which one is the alien and which one is the human.
Oh, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of thing.
A little bit, but also no.
Right, okay. And The Faculty. It's in The Faculty. That's good.
That is good. I went to the cinema to see that.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Extras, Steve-O says. I just didn't get it at all. But once I got the joke, I realised it's a piece of genius. The same as The Office. Just didn't get why my mates liked it. Then one day it just clicked. Oh, yeah, didn't get why my mates liked it. And one day it just clicked for him. Yeah, okay. It is one of those things that you've got to get the joke for it to work. And then when you get it, it gets funnier and funnier, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Ricky Gervais is an absolute genius when he sticks to 2 seasons of something.
Right.
When he goes over, it kind of like, it jumps the shark. But yeah, The Office, I could literally watch that tomorrow and still enjoy the hell out of it. So, yeah.
Steve-O continues. Just recently, I recommended to someone at work, as now available on Netflix, Robert Carlyle's Hitler, Rise of Evil. I watched it at the time and thought it was amazing. I recently watched it and it's not that great. The only thing is Carlyle's portrayal of Hitler. It's a brilliant performance. So his mates going, I've never seen it, but his mates going back into work the next day going, what the fuck have you got me watching here?
Yeah, about Hitler. Here's Steve-O.
Yeah, exactly. Talking of Netflix, episode 1 of The Gentleman, Steve-O says. I got on board with and was really happy I discovered a new TV show. By episode 6, I was so bored. I couldn't even watch the last 2 episodes. I've never seen this.
I've watched The Gentleman, and I agree with the second part of Steve-O's analysis. I actually enjoyed the first 6 episodes.
Okay.
But the last 2 dragged so much. That show could have easily been wrapped up in 6 episodes. It didn't need those last 2 and those extra twists. But I've got to say I did enjoy the show as a whole. I'm not as excited for the sequel as I would have been, but yeah, I think he's got it spot on with that last bit.
So he did well checking out before the last 2 then, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve-O,
I mean, I don't know how he does that. Before you get on to that, I don't know how he does that. That would annoy me if I get 3/4 of the way through a season just not to just finish it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
Steve-O also says the In-Betweeners movies. When I watched the first one, I didn't particularly like it. However, watching several times since, it's actually a very good conclusion. The second one I really hated. On reflection, it's okay. Just okay. But still on the opinion it shouldn't have been made. Yeah, I think the first one was all right, but after that, I guess flogging a dead horse. It's going to someone's making money, so they continue with it until it's just dead, don't they?
Is this the second one? Is that the one where Simon's girlfriend burns all his clothes and burns his PlayStation? They go to Australia.
Yes, they go to Australia. Yeah,
that one's shit. That is very shit. I've never ever rewatched that one. The first one's I thought should have been how the TV show ended. Just have left it at the end of that film. And because Burnley get a mention in it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Steve-O also says here about music. Bands I thought did something for me, but 20 years later, I think are garbage. They include Marilyn Manson, Deftones, virtually any new metal band, Cold Chamber, Spineshank. They all have some good songs, but overall, it's tripe. And then we get the reverse of that. Bands I couldn't care less about 20 years ago, but now appreciate. Linkin Park, Avenged Sevenfold, My Chemical Romance, The Used, Lost Prophets, Escape the Fate. And he also says about a band I liked after the first EP and album, but since are atrocious. Enter Shikari.
I don't know half of those bands.
Fair enough. It's not music I necessarily would be into myself. I don't want a little bit of Manson, but I've not listened to it in a long time, so perhaps I'm of the same opinion of Steve-O's. But I feel with a lot of it, like Marilyn Manson, and I suppose the new metal stuff, it was very niche and of its time.
Yeah.
And I think that
I think a lot of those bands I can probably name one or two of the famous tracks, but they just weren't my cup of tea, I suppose.
I also think there's a reason for their, shall we say, lack of continued success across the board. Whenever you say Limp Bizkit or whatever, everyone wants to hear stuff off the first couple of albums, the big tracks.
Yeah.
The same with Korn and so on. They release albums still, and nobody's really interested. So perhaps they were one-trick ponies, and they've used up what creativity they potentially had. Which, again, they're more creative than me, so good luck to them. But at the same time, perhaps they've used up what they had.
Yeah, and then obviously musical tastes change over time, and different genres of music become the cool thing. And if you're still treading water with the same kind of music that you've done for years before, you're going to lose that fan base, and you're only going to be then creating music for those hardcore fans who never moved on, I suppose.
Yeah, true. Steve also says, some deathcore acts I loved, but now I think are so boring. Despised Icon, Immure, I think that says, Job for a Cowboy, Signs of the Swarm, Carnifex, Oceano, Enterprise Earth, Chelsea Grin. Just can't listen to their stuff. I know Job for a Cowboy. I think I've seen them. I can't remember anything about it though. But yeah, I can't comment really because I'm not into that. I'm not into deathcore music, but Steve-O obviously is, and he's had his opinion changed over time, which is exactly what we're looking for, Maxie, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I have heard of zero of those bands. As I've said before, that kind of music isn't my bag, but I do enjoy Steve-O just absolutely headbanging to songs like that. Even when I can't even tell what the guy is screaming, just seeing Steve-O get excited about it just makes me love that song.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know any of them bands.
At Pigs Bladders on Twitter,
are you forgetting the rest of Steve-O's? Are you just
ignoring
that?
Some? Have I missed some? Or is that something that came in later? I can't see on the little tiny screen.
5 hours difference. So yeah, it's put.
I've got it later.
Okay, well I'll leave it. But if I have to go back, on your head be it.
We'll probably have to go back because I'll have it later on, won't I? So do you want to read it now? Yeah.
So Steve-O's put, seeing as he's watching, honourable mentions are the Bill. Initially, when he watched season 1 to 9, is the Bill in season? Yeah, I suppose it is in season, isn't it? It just used to be one of those shows that was on all the time.
Like Casualty. Casualty never seems to take a break, does it?
Yeah, exactly. Initially, when he watched seasons 1 to 9, he really wasn't a fan. However, then he listened to the Bill podcast that interviewed the actors at the time, opened his eyes, and argued they're possibly the best of the series. And then Chris Bell says, flipping heck, Steve, they've only got 2 hours.
No problem. We always do our best to read out everything we get in, don't we? And then we'll go back through the chat very soon as well and read out everything we get in there too, because that's just kind of show we are in it. Our little community, Magsy.
We've missed a good Steve-O section for a while, so he's been saving them up.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. At Pigs Bladders, the Photoshop wizard himself, who has been awesome creating logos, a new logo for the Doctor Who pod. There's a new little logo for Chain Wrestling up in the top corner on the screen here. You can probably see. And he's also helped us with a couple of designs of some t-shirts as well, because there's new merchandise coming out for Chain Wrestling, Doctor Who pod, Nitro Nights, and all sorts of stuff. Quantum Leap, a Waiting Room podcast, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, he's helped us with 1 or 2 of those designs too. You'll be able to see them very, very soon. Pigs Bladders says, back in November, I had cataract surgery on one eye. My sight before was a bit shit. Following the surgery, it got worse. A couple of weeks ago, I got zapped with a Star Wars style laser, and you know what? I can see. So his opinion of laser eye surgery, yes. Oh, vision in general.
Yeah. That's good news. That really, to say you create the artwork that you do and you are blind as a bat, or you have been blind as a bat, that's brilliant even more amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So we expect much better artwork now that you can see. So
Yeah,
you're
up your game
raising
now.
the bar for yourself now, King Pig Bladders.
Oh yes. We now have the last one from Steve-O here saying, "Seeing as I'm watching."
We've already gone through that.
Have we? No, we haven't. At the
literally
bottom, he says, "Oh
I've
yeah, we
literally
have."
just
Yes,
read it
yes.
out.
Oh yeah, because at the bottom he says Gold Dust, and I thought initially when I glanced at it, he meant the wrestler Gold Dust, but he does not. Okay. Matt Butler at Trey, at Trey Butler on Twitter. He says, weirdly, Nirvana. Hated them growing up. Thought grunge in general was overrated, and Kurt was their poster boy. 26 years later, and several Dinosaur Jr., Sonic Youth, and Garbage records in, I feel they're a must add to my record collection. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, don't mind Nirvana. I think it's some of the songs still kind of hit home now. I mean, I know that they are very much of that grunge era time, but some of the songs are still well in my playlist on Spotify. So, yeah, good shout with Nirvana.
I've got Nirvana albums. I've got other grunge albums as well, but it's not something I really play a great deal of. I liked various other heavy metal and so on, and grunge came along and killed a lot of that off.
And you hated it.
I despise it now. It's the enemy. Matt Butler continues. Territory wrestling. Yes, here we go, Magsy. This guy knows his shit. When I was a lad, punchy kicky wrestling seemed bollocks. But the older I get, the better territory wrestling gets. The psychology, the storylines, the personalities. Smoky Mountain Wrestling and Mid-South are amazing, and genuinely think the 1 hour format is best for episodic TV. I'm not necessarily on board with the punchy kicky stuff, but I think the territory wrestling, the classic stuff, is so good, and I just love it. The more I watch it, each time I watch it, I'm learning more. So I agree with Matt Butler.
I don't. I think you're looking through rose-colored glasses. Territory wrestling was basic AF.
Depends what territory you looked at.
All of the territories. They did the same thing and just moved territories.
No, they didn't. They had my God.
Ric Flair defended his title in every territory, lost by count out or disqualification, and was champion for about 45 fucking years because he just kept moving.
But people kept coming back, didn't they? You know?
Yeah, because he put their guy over, so then they could milk the shit out of the fans. Yeah,
genius. It's called the wrestling business for a reason, and it's the second word in that that's the most important, mate. Wrestling business. These 6-star bloody Dave Meltzer matches, they ain't gonna draw enough money to keep these companies going in 10 years. Anyway,
that's very true. It's no point having a 7-star match if you're doing it in front of 10 people.
There we go. Matt Butler also says, like fine wine and Trey Butler get better. Oh, hang on. He sent me a second to follow up to this because he got his initial tweet incorrect. So I'll read the second one. He says, that was meant to read, like fine wine and myself, olives get better with age.
Oh no, what a horrific take. Matt, no.
The savory fruit of the gods, he says.
No, it's like Satan's bollock.
I love olives.
No,
lovely stuff, mate.
They're fucking horrible. Horrible.
No, I love olives. I want olives now.
That is a bad take. And
have I told you about
bad?
Have I told you about the olive guy in Gloucester?
No.
We've got
no need to, so let's move on.
Oh, you're such a prick. We've got the indoor market in Gloucester, right? That it stinks of fish because at the back end you've got all the fresh fish out. And it's grotty and horrible. But there's a bloke there who's got his own store, him and his wife. I don't know where they come from originally, but their English isn't great. And they send one of their kids out to stand at the entrance of the indoor market with a little table with different types of olives and cocktail sticks for you to just pick up and try. And then he sends you down to his mum and dad.
Do you know what I'd do to that table? I'd fucking swap it so all them olives went all over. I'd flip
you go down
table,
to see
I'd wreck the gaff.
You go down to see him.
Oh, no.
You go down to see the guy, right? And there's just these pots of olives that are like, big squares all over. Loads of like Turkish delight as well. And
yeah, I mean, that's not bad. He's redeemed himself with that.
But these olives are massive. They're not like little tiny shop bought olives or little ones you pop in your drink. There's a massive chunky olives, and they've got all different flavors. Like there's spicy ones, there's lemon ones. Oh mate, my mouth's watering just talking about it.
What a waste of extra flavoring for a fucking olive.
You're such a
all
melt.
olives
You really are.
All olives are disgusting.
I wish I had olives though.
In the chat, Mrs. Max telling me to calm down. So for that, we'll just have a bit of a repeat. So, CWF, after losing a bet, here is Mrs. Maggs and a rendition. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Name and he appears. I believe in your entry.
There you go.
Glorious. Well done,
Love
Mrs.
Mrs. Maggs.
Glorious stuff. Dan Griffin said olives are rank. See, you two you need your head screwing on right.
No, we don't. We're sensible.
Millwall Chris at Millwall Chris 1 on Twitter. He says, and this is a little bit depressing. Something he's changed his opinion on over the years is life. I loved life when I was younger and had no cares in the world. But as I've got older, it's just got shitter.
Yep. Adulting, being an adult is one of the worst things that can ever happen to a human.
Yeah, very true. Very true. We have another by Pig Splatters here that came in a bit later. He says, as a father to multiple children, you fucking player. As a father to multiple children.
I haven't
this
got
one.
this, so
Okay.
It's the you thing.
This one I can guarantee is 100% true. It's kids. Newborn babies are pretty boring. They eat shit and sleep.
That's when they're the best.
As they get older, though, they become more interesting and entertaining, and it never stops no matter how old they get. Yeah, brilliant stuff.
Wrong, absolutely wrong. Babies are cool because they don't answer back.
Right.
Between 2 and maybe 6, it's cute when they answer back because they think it's funny. Past that, just get rid of them until they're 18 and then they can move out. That's how kids should come.
Just get rid of them. That sounds a little bit ominous.
Yeah,
that sounds like an episode of Criminal Minds, you know.
They should, when they get to the 7th birthday, they should magically become 18.
Right. Okay.
You miss out all that annoying bit.
Right. Oh, specifically those years. Okay.
Yeah.
Bang Steve at Von Tugbot, on Twitter. He says, my opinions about everything are the correct ones. To change my mind would be admitting to failure, which is impossible. I'm right about everything right away. Yeah. that tickled me.
There was one time when he thought he was wrong, but he was actually mistaken.
Right. Okay. And finally, from the non-wrestling topic online for this week, we have Chris Bellis at Real Chris Bellis. Absolute legend he is. He says, I didn't remember enjoying 1993 in wrestling quite as much, but thoroughly researching and going over 1993 in both major companies has probably been the most fun I've had in my young podcasting career. The Colossal Kongs and Charlie Norris are still crap, though, which is fair enough. They are. 93 WWF, that's a hard watch, isn't it?
Yeah. 93, 94. Oof.
That's what, but 93 WCW is very good.
Oh, it would be, yeah. 40 were.
Steamboat, Wyndham, Dustin Rhodes.
When they still had the NWA World Title and Ric Flair was the world's heavyweight champion.
God's sake, I've not missed you at all. I lied at the start. That is all we have from Twitter, Facebook, etc., this week. Thank you so much to everybody for messaging into the show. Magsy, let's dive through the chats because we have quite a bit there.
All right, so I'm not allowed to put any.
Oh yeah, okay. Have you got some? Would you like to talk about yours?
Yeah, I want to talk about the one thing that inspired this topic to me.
Okay, is it that you liked olives when you were a kid?
I fucking never will ever like olives. It's Crocs.
Oh
no! The shoes made out of foam. I hated them when they first came out. They were horrific. And then I've got a pair, and they are the most comfortable shoes known to man. They're great. They're just so universally good. Use them indoors as comfy slippers, then take them outside to do a bit of gardening. Yeah, they're brilliant. Crocs are brilliant.
No, they're not, because you look like you got special needs. If you're wearing,
I don't care.
Crocs,
I absolutely do not care. They are
wearing
amazing.
Crocs out and about. You look like you can't handle Velcro. Never mind laces. That's the issue you have.
You don't get the fact.
If you're wearing Crocs when you're out and about, you should be wearing a high vis and holding onto somebody more responsible's hand when you're out and about. I mean, that's what you should be doing.
That goes without saying with me and Mrs. Mags.
Mate, no. My wife banged on about Crocs.
Yeah, you can wear them in comfort mode with the strap forward, and you can just lounge out. But if you need to get things done, flip the strap to the back into sport mode, and you are cracking away. They are the. I love Crocs.
Sport mode, you melt. My my wife and my daughters, especially Sharon, especially Livy and Sharon, they've got Crocs, but they've got like, I don't know what you call it, Croc charms. And you can buy things that click into
that's
your
a bit too far. That's a bit too far for me.
But our Libs has got hers like meticulously done. Yeah, she's got hers meticulously done with like fashion labels that she likes. But if one's a little bit got too many on and it outweighs the other one, she's got to rearrange them all and all that. But she's quite OCD. Crocs not. The wife bought me Crocs for Christmas. Actually,
try them.
I've worn them.
You've worn them once.
Not me, mate. Yeah. Well, yeah, because when I'm in the house, I've got slippers. When I go out the house, I put shoes on.
Yeah, but these are the universal. You could do both.
But then I'm treading mud into the house.
Well, wipe your feet quite clearly. But they're just amazing, honestly. Try them for a week. And you will be a changed man.
Nah, it's not going to happen. I can't. If I look down, it will make me physically sick. And then I'll need to throw my Crocs away because I would have thrown up on them.
He says in the chat, King Pig Bladder says, can't they make Crocs that look like Doc Martens? I don't think I've seen any Doc Marten ones, but I've seen Greg's version. Aldi and Lidl have both done versions. Crocs have got big deals. I've seen Nike Crocs where they've done crossovers. So Crocs are the thing, mate. As an old chap who is feeling my age every single day, sliding my feet into some Crocs is like a little bit of heaven.
Nah, not for me, mate. Not for me at all. But I appreciate your opinion. I don't think I've got any. I did have some. But then you mentioning Crocs has enraged me so much, I've forgotten it all.
It's enraged you. I regret coming back to this fucking show now.
Ketchup is one. My opinion on ketchup has changed dramatically. And mashed potato, you can tie into this. Not in the same dish, obviously, but I hated mashed potato and I hated ketchup for so long. Like literally decades from when I was a kid. And it was that thing of I hated it when I was a kid, so I never tried it again. But now, I don't mind a bit of ketchup on stuff. And when the wife makes mashed potato, bang in, mate.
Mashed potato's the king, mate. Absolutely.
With onion in it, though.
Well, mustard in man, but we can't
all yeah.
Wow, you did that on purpose. You said with onion in it just because I've talked about Crocs.
Yes, I did.
You're just peevish.
What have we got in the chat, Magsy?
A lot. We have got to go way, way back. So we've got a lot of love for you and Mrs. Mags. I don't know why. After a horrific murdering of Joe Henry's song. Toastio says, I'm 10 minutes behind, but great to see you're back recording Nitro Nights. King Pig Badder says, right, I'm back now. Can you start that? Can you start again? I missed that. Big Bob loves a furry, according to Sharon. Dan Griffin says, to clarify, we didn't make fun of Connor for not liking Silence in the Library. We just said that he was and continues to be very wrong. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff he said in absence just in this episode has been incredibly wrong. Yeah, so he's wrong. Richard Stock says, used to think Sar was just was just a Hillbilly Jim tribute. I mean, used to think that.
This needs tidying up, to be fair.
He says, but over time, he's realised that he's more like Harley Davidson. Covers more in quicker time and a standard bearer for us SJP groupies.
Thank you. You're
wow,
very kind. Thank you.
That is untrue and also litigious, I think.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sharon says Suicide Squad is the one where Jared Leto plays the Joker. Can't remember if you watched it, to be honest.
I remember him appearing, like, like the little clip you get at the end of the films.
Oh, the credit scene.
Yeah, he turned up as the Joker at the end of a film that Sharon was watching, and that was the only time I saw him as the Joker. So I've not seen Suicide Squad now.
Okay. Dan says Sar's going to come. Oh, we've covered that one.
Yep.
James says non-league football is proper fun. Been away with Hendersford Town Lords and great days out. Funny you should mention Cross Keys. My dad loaded for them in Hendersford growing up. Oh, that's like there's so many pubs called Cross Keys. I think we've got 2 here in Burnley. And he says played, not loaded. Fuck's sake.
Oh.
Steve O, 10 minutes behind, says very poignant in the Hall of Fame from Sar. Appreciate the honesty and open sharing. Yeah. And
thank you.
I know I wind him up a lot, but I do love Sar. He's absolutely amazing. He's shown over these last 3-4 weeks just how strong of a human being he is, and I massively appreciate him for that.
Cheers.
Steve O then goes and says, Family Guy, like The Simpsons, died after Series 7. Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. He says, and he will continue saying he's got to season 4 of the American Office and had to stop just over the top, ludicrous rubbish. Thank you, Steve O. You are a gentleman and a scholar, sir.
Steve O, do you like olives? Let us know in the chat, mate.
That is a deal breaker if you like olives, Steve. I've got to say. King Pig Brother says Spice Girls will always be cool. Yeah, I mean, Jerry's had a hard life, though, hasn't you?
Everyone had a favourite Spice Girl, didn't they? Whether it was you were a lass or whatever, and you just liked their style, or you're a young pervy gentleman like us, and you liked the ladies for a different reason growing up. Who was your Spice Girl, Magsy? And give us a shout in the chat as well. Let us know your favourite Spice Girl growing up.
I always liked Mel B.
Did you really? Why? Yeah. Liked a lass that could beat you up, yeah?
I don't know. I think I'd give her a good go.
Yeah, okay. Baby Spice for me, mate.
Well, yeah. Not surprised.
Emma Bunton all day long.
Not surprised. Richard in the chat, we'll leave that hanging. Richard in the chat says, also was losing faith in podcasts, then discovered SJP, Doctor Who, Quantum League, Chain Wrestling, restored my faith. And also through SJP, it's an amazing fan base. Discovered Total Steve-O, Top Blow, and UTT.
Awesome.
Well, that's the whole point of Chain Wrestling and SJP. It was never about fame or views or anything like that. It's about our community and just bringing everyone together. So it's amazing that you've got involved with that, and it's good to see you knocking around with us, Richard.
Yeah, fantastic, love it. Yeah, thank you so much for your feedback and your support. It's great. I'm so grateful that you enjoy all the shows. So yeah, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It makes it worthwhile doing them, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole point that we do this thing. King Pig Banner says In Bloom by Nirvana is awesome. Yeah. Sharon says the garlic cloves are the best.
Oh, yes.
Is that pickled garlic cloves?
Yes. They sell down by the olive man. He sells them in little pots. And,
they're good.
You can get
roasted garlic cloves.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Pickled ones, minted ones. Oh, so good. Spicy ones. Yeah, they are brilliant. But the problem is, when they're in the fridge, they make the fridge stink, first of all. And I can't have just one. The same as the olive. I keep going back. And then I wake up the following morning and my breath just smells like dirty arse. And I've got to go to work like that. I've got no self-control, Max. That's the issue.
Speaking of pickling, over this sabbatical we've had, I've pickled some eggs. Because
I love a pickled egg.
So obviously everybody knows I have chickens and they create more eggs than we could ever eat. So I've made some sweet chili pickled eggs, and they are absolutely banging.
Send them down my way, mate.
Well, I made a jar of 12, and between me and Carlos, they went in about a week. So I made
You
another
selfish bastards.
Well, you eat olives. So it's your own fault. Dan Griffin, olives are fucking rank. Sharon, olives are rank. Dan Griffin, Steve is wrong, and he himself said it on Bang Bang's Vader special. He used to at Christmas before he met beloved wife, but now she's converted him to liking Christmas.
Oh, that's Bang Bang Steve, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Christmas is still shit. I don't like Christmas. And Sharon says, yes, Mags. I wore my Crocs on our walk earlier. They're done to match the colour of her football kit. The cowboy Croc boots are the best. You can get Croc-shaped charms to put in your Crocs. And you only have onion in it when you have corned beef hash.
Oh, do I? I thought you always put onion in the mashed potato. Okay. Well, I like corned beef hash as well. I love corned beef hash.
Yeah, corned beef hash is banging. I do like corned beef hash.
Yeah, I'm
Sharon says the film you were on about was Justice League Extended Edition.
Okay.
And it's now 3-0.
Brilliant.
You are shit.
We are.
You are proper dog shit, aren't you?
Gloucester City want to arrange a friendly up at Old Trafford at the moment. They might win a game.
The Gloucester City will probably turn Man United down now. So Dan Griffin says, Richard Stocks, on behalf of myself and Rob, huge thanks for including UTT. I mean, UTT are a staple of our podcasting clique.
They are indeed.
Rob and Dan are two of the funniest people that I've ever had the pleasure of podcasting with. So
not to mention all the spin-offs as well. All the spin-offs, looking at Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, and all this sorts of so much that they do.
Tank Abbott, the original spin-off.
Yeah, there you go.
So that is the chat all caught up.
Bloody look at us. It's like we've never been away. We're so fucking professional. A monster amount of people in the chat sending in messages, that huge non-wrestling topic, and here we are, an hour and 20 minutes in, and getting ready to actually talk some wrestling. Look at us, Mags.
We should have 3 weeks between every episode, and then we can just crack through them. An episode a month, guys. How's that sound?
There we go. One a month, yeah, like the second Wednesday or something. So, shall we talk some wrestling?
Let's do it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
So then, Magsy won a poll, and his selection was what actually turned out to be the opener from Survivor Series 95, wasn't it? A 4-on-4 elimination match between the teams.
Classic Survivor Series match.
Okay. Survivor Series 95, not a pay-per-view I've gone back and watched a great deal of. Not a pay-per-view I've revisited massively. And if I do, I tend to watch Brett versus Diesel in the main event, because that's a great match. So this match here, I would have seen it before, but it almost felt like I was watching it for the it almost felt like I was watching it for the first time. And also, it's going to be really interesting talking about it because my daughter bought me a new notebook, as I mentioned on the previous show, to make my notes on for certain podcasts and that. The gaps, I don't know if you can make this out on the camera, but the gaps between the lines are so tiny. So when you actually look at my notes now, they're just really small scribbles. So there's a chance I'm not going to be able to understand exactly what I've written. So this is going to be good fun for everyone involved.
It's almost like typing your notes out and then having on the screen in front of you would be a sensible idea.
It would. And do you know what? This is the only podcast I don't do that for. Strange, isn't it?
I think you just like to fly by the seat of your pants on chain wrestling.
I do. It's live and I'm on edge. And I think that
you've permanently just got an arsehole like that, just tight.
Indeed, Survivor Series 1995. We have Jim Ross, Vince McMahon, and Mr. Perfect on the commentary team, and we are we're checking out the Body Donnas versus the Underdogs. Magsy, the Body Donnas were Tom Pritchard, Skip, Rad Radford, and who was the other guy? Oh, the 1-2-3 Kid.
So Was Tom Pritchard originally one of the Body Donnas? I think he was, wasn't he?
He ended up I think he joins after this, doesn't he?
As a Zip.
Yeah, because he's still in '95.
Yeah, he's a heavenly body.
He's still working. I think he's still working with Smoky Mountain Wrestling at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think. But
Radford, that was Louis Spicoli, I think.
Yes, yeah. Because after we spoke about it last time, we were both like, "Who the fuck was that?" So we looked about it. It's Louis Spicoli. And interestingly, I tried to make a link to a Louis Spicoli match for where we go after this. Couldn't fucking do it. Couldn't find one I was interested about. He wrestled Shawn Michaels once on TV, and even Shawn couldn't drag a fucking brilliant match out of him. So I kind of thought, I'm going to leave that well alone.
I think he did a little bit of stuff in ECW for a while.
Yeah.
And then he was part of those poachers that WCW did from ECW. But yeah, someone taken too soon from the wrestling business, as unfortunately is more common than I'd like to appreciate.
Yeah, his highest rated matches, apart from this one, on Cage Match, were just all battle royals, and I thought, I ain't touching that for barge pole, mate. You know.
Sorry, Louis. You just haven't got a good enough catalogue.
There we go. The Underdogs are their opponents, and this is the team of Marty Jannetty and Man United have let a fourth in. Fucking hell.
Brilliant.
We're so shit, it's funny. Where was I? Marty Jannetty. I've lost my track now. Bob Holly. Mags, help me out. Who else was in those teams?
Hakushi.
Oh, yes.
And the Lord Barreled Horowitz.
Barreled? Was that his full name? Was it Barreled?
That's his Sunday name.
Okay, right. It does kind of show the eclectic, weird mix that 95 WWF had, doesn't it? When you go back and watch the 95 Rumble and then into the 96 Rumble, it was a weird time in wrestling, wasn't it?
Yeah, you've got bodybuilders, you've got a guy whose character is that he's Jewish.
That's his whole gimmick.
That's genuinely his gimmick, that he's Jewish.
Yeah.
You've got a stock car racer. Yeah. This is the whole jobs for gimmicks era. Because there's even parts of where they throw it backstage to Razor Ramon, and Duke the Dumpster Drozer is part of his little gang watching this match on the tiniest monitor known to man.
Oh dear. Well, thank God for the NWO coming along and changing things. And also, I suppose, in the WWF side, thank God just for Brett and Sean for a little while. So we didn't have just
carrying it on their backs.
Oh, my word. The entrances tickle me. The babyface team, Marty Jannetty's music hits. They're all walking out. I'm going to keep getting the pronunciation of this guy's name wrong. Hakushi. Hakushi is out second. He is behind.
I would literally got the same comment.
Jannetty's run into the ring like he always does because it's the Rockers music, and he's doing the same gimmick he did in 1986, still here in 1995. And then the rest of the team start jogging as well. And oh my word, Hakushi, he's got no interest in that, and they all just run past him and leave him be. It's brilliant.
But Bob Holly, who comes out third, genuinely bumps into him. Literally shoulder barges him. And by the time the music finishes, Hakushi is literally still climbing into the ring holding his light fitting hat.
Oh man.
He was not arse, was it? He wasn't running down to the ring.
He didn't give a shit, mate.
Yeah.
He didn't want to smudge his makeup. That was all. Those lovely tattoos and that. Don't get sweaty before the match.
This is it.
The Body Donnas team come out. So there's only 3 members of this team, led by Sunny, who in 95, my word, this woman is absolutely stunning. And she does her own kind of intro on the way to the ring as well, talking about each member of the team. And I'm thinking, my God, she was bloody brilliant, wasn't she? I mean, everyone remembers her for her looks, but there's moments like this where you think she was so charismatic as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, her voice was like nails on a chalkboard sometimes when she screamed into the microphone. But I did like the way she linked every member into being technically a Body Donna.
Yeah.
She called Radford the King of Grunge, which is a bit of a stretch. And then
well, that was the gimmick, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she said that Tom Pritchard was a heavenly body Donna, which kind of makes sense. But she was a great manager. She was a good kind of mouthpiece for a team.
The fourth member is the 1-2-3 Kid. He is led out by Ted DiBiase because he's turned heel at this point and on Razor Ramon. What a little bastard. And I don't know what it is about the 1-2-3 Kid or Sean Maltman, but whenever I see the guy without a beard, I mean, he's an unlikable chap anyway, isn't he? Nowadays, sound. His podcasts are great and he's gone through a lot of stuff in his life. But he had a look that was quite unlikable, which is a brilliant thing to have as a professional wrestler. But for some reason,
a face you could slap.
Yeah, but for some reason, when he's beardless, when he's clean shaven, he's a 1-2-3 Kid or a Lightning Kid, I just want to strangle him. I don't know why. Even when he was a babyface, I was like, I just hated the guy.
Yeah, I can see that. He's got a very punchable face.
Indeed. Razor comes out and tries to get at the 1-2-3 Kid, and it is not successful. And the security and the referees do a very weak, but somehow still successful at the same time job of escorting him to the back again. Yeah,
because there's a little bit of backstory. The 1-2-3 Kid had refereed a match between Razor and Sid, and he'd been got at by the $1 Million Man, and he signed up with the $1 Million Corporation. He helped
everybody's
Sid,
got a price.
Yeah, he helped Sid win, did a fast count, and then just as horrific, he took the money out of the mouth that $1 Million Man put some money in Razor's mouth, and he stole it on the way out of the match. So he's the newest member of the $1 Million Corporation and just turned heel, and Razor is not a happy bunny about it. In fact, he's kicking off backstage, and it takes Rikishi, the street gangster, Duke the Drumster Jose, and Savio Vega to calm him down at times, and even that's not enough.
Well, if anyone's going to calm you down, it's Savio Vega, obviously. Very calming nature that man has.
He is, yeah. A good man.
Indeed. Jannetty opens the match for his team, and he's on fire at the beginning, isn't he? He's well up for this. The crowd are into it as well. They're loving Marty Jannetty as he's clearing house, aren't they?
That's what I mean. All the way through this match, one thing I was very surprised at was just how hot this crowd was. They were really invested. I mean, this is technically a bunch of jobbers.
Yeah.
Jerking the curtain. And the crowd are absolutely adore it. It's there's even a little old lady in the front row with massive old lady glasses, and she's really getting into it, like calling people dicks and telling them to pin people. Yeah, it's brilliant. What a great crowd.
So I'm loving the fact that Steve-O is about 10 to 12 minutes behind, because we're talking and just randomly getting comments of "I've never tried olives" in the chat.
See, he's saved himself, and then he's also says ginger spice, but Mel B today. There we go.
Yeah.
So again, he's changed his mind over the years.
There we go. Bob Holly, who looks ridiculous in this guise, doesn't he? With the mullet and the racing gear and all that sort of stuff.
And the fucking WWF on his arse. What a
bastard.
What a simp.
And Radford come in. They scrap for a little bit. Radford takes a Hurricane Rana from Bob Holly, which was quite nice to see in this era, 1995 WWF.
Yeah.
But a lot of it could have fallen down and been quite punchy kicky, I feel, Magsy, especially the likes of Mabel in the main event picture and stuff.
I mean, Bob Holly, you remember him as being like the super heavyweight and hardcore Holly, and being one of the brawliest brawlers that ever brawls. Yeah. Here he's got some wrestling chops, as Bob Holly. He's pulls off some pretty cool wrestling moves. He does like to go to the armbar every now and again, which is a bit annoying for a bit of a rest. But yeah, I think he does well.
He does that here, doesn't he? Because he hits a really impressive power bomb and then a great body. It's a simple body slam, but the power he gets on that, smashing his opponent into the mat, it looked fantastic. The crowd are up for it, and then he's like, "Whoop, armbar."
Yeah. Straight into the hip toss and armbar. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Hakushi is in. He hits a spine buster. No, he gets hit with a spine buster by Radford. Sorry. Again, I can't read my own fucking notes. And then the 1, 2, 3 kid tags in. And then we start getting eliminations, Mags, don't we? Pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, there's two essentially back to back in there.
Yes.
We get Tom Pritchard. He gets eliminated with the crossbody. Then whilst Holly is kind of distracted, Skip runs in and eliminates him with the roll up. So that's one of the things you get in multi-man tag matches. You get a bit of action, then you clear a bit of the shit out, don't you? And then move on. So it kind of goes to show that the match never stops, and you've got to be on your guard all the time, because as soon as someone else is in, you could be out. So I don't mind a quick couple of eliminations like that.
No. Hakushi is in then, and he throws some amazing looking kicks. And this guy, we mentioned it before when we've seen moments of him in Raw Rumbles and so on. This guy looks fantastic. Every time I see him, I think, man, and I always had the match with Brett that's supposed to be incredible, that I have seen, but I've not seen in a very long time. But he looks amazing. And he hits a top rope shoulder block for a 2 count, but then misses a springboard, which allows Radford to tag in. And we then hit another elimination, don't we, Magsy?
Yeah, we get the pulling of the tarts, the cheating. He had a handful of tarts. So, yeah, that's Hakushi's night is over.
Which is a shame.
I think with Hakushi, if he was around now, I think he'd do pretty well.
Yeah, I mean.
I think he's definitely talented enough to hang with guys nowadays. And this is an era in WWE where it wasn't the most innovative of wrestling. So to see him wrestle in 1995, it was kind of mind-blowing just how good he was. It's a shame he didn't stick around for that long.
Yeah, indeed. Horowitz is finally in the match, and there is much rejoicing. And he straight away gets beaten up.
Don't even go there yet. The crowd loved Barry Horowitz. Even Mr. Perfect and Vince McMahon were shocked just how over Barry Horowitz was. This crowd were before he even got in the ring, they were chanting Barry, Barry. He's literally the best Barry that ever buried.
Wyndham aside, obviously.
Wyndham has got 32 steps on that ladder to climb before he gets anywhere near barreled Horowitz.
Radford has him beat a couple of times, though, doesn't he? He keeps lifting his shoulders off the mat at 2. I think this is on the instruction of Skip, isn't it? Or to try and impress Skip and study the body Donnas.
I think there was a little bit of a storyline where Skip and Horowitz were feuding. So Skip wanted the pin. Skip wanted to show Barry Horowitz up and eliminate him. So Skip was kind of directing traffic, and then Radford starts to be a bit of a pillock, pausing, doing jumping jacks, the worst push-ups that I've ever seen. And then to be critical to Barry, a very botchy roll-up.
It's not great. It's not great.
But he gets the pin, and the crowd go mental because their boy has got a pin.
When the audio version comes out later in the week for this whole wrestling section of the show, I'm just going to play his entrance theme underneath us. Just constantly on a loop.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're listening to the audio version later in the week and you're not hearing that, it's because I forgot. There's a blind tag to the 1, 2, 3 kid whilst some more action is going on. And so that's the elimination of Barry Horowitz, isn't it? Barry Horowitz is hit from behind by the 1, 2, 3 kid then.
Yeah, and he's out.
And he's pinned with a pretty shitty leg drop, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that was never a 1, 2, 3 kid finishing move. It's no. the simple short leg drop where he basically runs off the ropes and sits down. Yeah. I've never seen him pin anybody after that, apart from Barry. But
this
Barry
is a problem, I think, yeah.
with tag matches, yeah.
With these multi-person matches, you see people being eliminated from moves that the whole rest of the year people are kicking out on 2-on.
Yeah.
And it's weird for me. I mean, I don't want everyone to keep using finishers, but at the same time, and you should be able to pin anyone with anything because it makes it more exciting. But if you're only doing it on one night of the year, it makes it look a bit daft, I think.
You're right. Especially if 364 days a year, people are kicking out of it. Why on this one night would it beat someone, and especially someone with the prestige of Barry Horowitz? It's ridiculous. I'm disappointed that was how it was booked.
Yeah, exactly. He should have had to take 3 pedigrees and then kicked out. Somebody gives him an F5 and he kicks out again, and eventually they just wear him down. That's the way it should have gone.
Yeah,
that's the only way it could have been just. Yeah. This leaves, of course, our favourite powdered-nosed rocker on his own, Mr. Marty Jannetty, coked up to hell, is
against
on his
the
Todd.
odds.
Yes, indeed. He makes a bit of a fight of it, to be fair, and the crowd are getting behind him and chanting Marty and so on. He does hit the rocker dropper finisher to skip, where Mr. Perfect on commentary says, "That'll break your neck," which is obviously a throwback to when Marty Jannetty actually used that move and broke someone's fucking neck, which is a little bit naughty, isn't it?
It is, but glad that Mr. Perfect could get a quip in about somebody's broken neck. Yeah. Classy of him.
Yeah. Classy. He does, Jannetty, he does hit a top rope powerbomb, which then enables him to eliminate Skip. So we're down to 1v1 Magsy now, aren't we? So effectively, and everything that's happened beforehand is irrelevant. We could have just started with these two.
Exactly. Well, that top rope powerbomb was actually pretty impressive. For the level that these were on the card and in the roster in general, to pull off that move in an opening match, I thought that was pretty good. And it's not something that you see Marty do a hell of a lot in his career. So that is a move that is worthy of a pin, not a shitty running leg drop.
Almost like he's tripped over into a leg drop, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember Jannetty doing that move ever.
No, yeah, exactly.
So,
and it's hard to make a top rope powerbomb actually look good as well. So the fact he was able to do that, props to him. Marty, the unsung hero of this match.
Oh, fuck Marty Jannetty. You know my opinions on that guy, man. For those who are unaware, I had a little bit of a discussion with him on Facebook once, and yeah, the guy's a piece of shit. But we'll get into that on another occasion. No, we won't. Fuck it. He called me a liar because of an article I wrote back when I was still writing. I wrote an article about Marty Jannetty's career, and he said that it's the most, on his page to other people, he said it's the most accurate article about his career and his troubles he has read, and then called me out about being a liar, not me directly, to other people, about being a liar about certain things in the article and insinuating I hadn't done my research. The passages that he called me out for, apparently saying that I made up, were actually taken from a video recording of Marty Jannetty himself giving those stories. So either he has made the stories up, forgotten about it, and then calls me a liar, or he's making them up. Whatever. He was the one. Literally his word of mouth, his voice, him on screen gave those stories. So I messaged him, called him out on it, and he ranted back and so on. So yeah, fuck that dude. And also, he wanted to shag his own daughter. Fucking nonce.
And he killed someone behind a bowling alley.
He did. Anyway, the 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty, they actually have a good exchange for a little while, don't they? They seem to have a bit of chemistry there between the two of them in the ring. It works quite well, Mags.
Yeah, it does. Love them or hate them as wrestlers or people, these two could go in the ring. So it's not a surprise. The bullshit is that Sid comes out and fucking wrecks the finish of the match, which, I mean, I get it because of the whole involvement with Sid and Razor and the $1 million corporation. But what a shit ending to this match.
Yeah.
Why not just have 1-2-3 Kid go over clean? They had no need for that.
this is the end. Well, this is November. Coming to the end of the year. We haven't got another pay-per-view before the Rumble. This is November of '95. Jannetty's going to go on and do fuck all. He's going to get fired again very, very soon. I think he actually holds the record for the amount of times somebody has been fired and rehired from the WWF.
Is it like 7?
Yes, even to this day. Yeah, so he's going to get fired again soon. He's unreliable. We know about his issues and so on. Why not just have him get pinned? You're not killing anyone. You're not ruining anyone's.
You don't have to keep him looking strong because it took a Sid interruption, but it is what it is.
What can you do?
It adds to the fact that the 1-2-3 Kid is not a babyface now. He's a dastardly cheating little prick.
It does. We did see the Rocker Dropper again, which led to the 1-2-3 Kid nearly being pinned but getting to the ropes, and that's when the ref distracts DiBiase and Sid guillotines Marty Jannetty over the top rope, and he does a great job of selling the fact he's had the rope chopped across his neck by just going on the mat for
another thing that normally someone wouldn't finish a match with.
No, definitely not. Well, it was Steve Austin's finisher for quite a few years in WCW, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's back in the days of Methuselah, though, isn't it?
No, it was like
when a clothesline used to be a finisher, or a DDT used to be a finisher.
A lariat used to be a finisher. Fuck, don't you dare drag the DDT into this. You are literally dropping a guy on his fucking head. He should not kick out at 2.
But do people kick out of it?
Yes, and it's wrong.
Exactly. So back in the day, that used to be a finisher, and now it's a transition.
Oh, fucking!
I agree. I agree with you. But it is a transition. The Canadian Destroyer is the one. That's fucking annoying how many times that goes. Oh,
ridiculous.
Anyway, yes, that's the end of the match.
Anyway, that's the end of the match. The 1-2-3 Kid is victorious. Magsy, out of 10, final thoughts. What do you reckon?
I mean, 7 absolute wet wipe jobbers plus Barry Horowitz. This match, Hakushi. Yeah, I mean, granted, he was quality, but this match should have been a 5-minute stink fest. But these guys got nearly 20 minutes, and it was bloody well good. What an entertaining match it was. Very little in terms of mistakes or botches. The pins sometimes made sense, and it was the action was properly entertaining. This is a 7.5 for me. I really enjoyed watching this match. Yeah,
I've got 7 myself. I agree. I was really surprised. I really enjoyed this. The finish, to be honest, I agree with everything you say about Sid's interference, but it didn't even really bother me. No, I agree with your. I totally agree, and I would rather it was done the way you explained it, but it didn't really take away that much for me from what I'd watched previously. I thought all the guys looked good. I enjoyed
they all
it.
played the part that they had to play.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really entertaining match. Very entertaining.
Yeah, there we go. So then, as we fast approach the 2-hour mark, we've still a couple of more things to talk about, and another run through the chat because I'm seeing people still joining us at this time of night. Magsy, we have the king himself. Goodwin has joined us. We have Cam as well here. Cam Griffin, great to see you again, my friend. Thank you for joining us. We'll get to your comments in a moment. But first, we have to decide where we're going to go next week. So we link from this match to potential options, and you guys all decide in the poll on Twitter where we're going to go. So, Maxie, what is your link?
Simple, quick link. My link is the Survivor Series, and we've covered a lot of the better matches at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, but we haven't covered Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan from 2018. So I want the champion versus champion match at the 2018 Survivor Series. Brocky Wocky Doodah versus the planet's champion, Daniel Bryan.
Brocky Wocky Doodah.
Yes.
That's a great shout, Magsy, and I've not seen that since it aired. So that'll be very. What's that? Hey, 6 years ago.
It's mental, isn't it? Time is just
5.5 years.
A construct. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Survivor Series 2018, Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan. Holy shit. Okay. My link is probably going to be very amusing for everyone listening because we all know how I struggle with certain pronunciations of foreign wrestlers' names. It doesn't matter how much I try, I struggle a little bit. So I've written them down as best I can. So please bear with me if I get them wrong. And if by some weird twist of fate any of these guys ever hear this podcast, I apologize for butchering your name. They never will. It doesn't fucking matter. My link is Hakushi. Because I think every time I've seen him, I think he's looked brilliant.
Yeah.
I was going to choose the match he had with Bret Hart. Because I thought, that stands a good chance of winning the poll because it's Bret Hart and Dan Griffin. Just, he's a one-man circle jerk for Bret Hart, isn't he? Let's be honest. And then I thought to myself, no, because I reckon there's a strong chance. There we go. Dan Griffin in the chat there. Cy struggles with pronunciation to the point he calls it What have I done? Okay, I can't talk. I was going to pick that match, his match with Bret Hart, but I kind of had an inkling that you might pick that. So obviously I'm in the wrong. I don't know why.
I was going to pick it, but I thought that you were going to pick it.
Oh my word. Mind fucking blown. There we go. We'll have to make that a special one day when we're both away for Christmas or something. We'll have to do that as a special. But anyway, I decided instead to have a look at this guy's career on Cage Match and other sites to try and see what matches people recommend and what would be a good advert for how talented this guy is away from the WWF. The match I've gone with is one of his highest rated online, but it's actually a tag match. So fucking bear with me. I've got 4 names to try and get through. Hakushi, he wrestles in Japan and under the name Jinsai Shinzaki. That sounds about right to me.
Yeah,
so
right.
The match, actually, it's probably 4 guys, barring Hakushi, so 3 guys we've not seen before on the show. And I'm pretty certain this is a match from a company we've not visited before on the show.
Okay, so what's the promotion?
All Japan.
No, I don't think we have.
I don't think we have. So I would like to go to the 27th of November, 1997, and check out a match from the All Japan Real World Tag League, which is a big tournament they have over there. And I would like to see Hakushi, but here known as Jinsai Shinzaki, tagging with Hayabusa. Again, and they are taking on Jun Akiyama. I can't. I've got that wrong. And Mitsuharu Misawa.
Legendary wrestler, Misawa.
Misawa, indeed. That's why
that sounds like fun. Hard hitting, strong style fun.
Yes. Now it goes 26, 27 minutes, something like that. There is multiple links on YouTube for this match if it happens to win. I will share one on Twitter again if it happens to win, so we're all watching the same version because a couple of minutes short, so they cut out the entrances and all that sort of stuff. But that's where I would like to go because I thought it's something a bit different, and I've been really impressed by Hakushi, so why not see a bit more?
Yep, absolutely. It's a great shout. Not a match that I don't think I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see something fresh.
There we go. So
picks Survivor Series 2018, guys.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Those are your options in this week's poll that will come out later in the week. Please vote and retweet for what you want us to talk about next week. We have Survivor Series 2018, Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan, or we have 4 guys wrestling, who I'm not going to try and pronounce their name again, for All Japan in the Real World Tag League, but they do include Misawa and they do include Hakushi. So I think it's going to be quite pleasant to see that. As I said, the poll will be up later in the week, sometime after the audio version is released. Make sure you're checking it out. It will always be on Twitter. I'm sorry to those who haven't got Twitter and they keep up with the show on Facebook or anywhere else. I do apologize, but it's just easier to organize on Twitter, or X as it's called now. So make sure you're checking that out at @chain_wrestling on that social media platform there. Magsy, do we want to scan through the chat quickly, or are we going straight to Hogan being a bullshitter?
I know we'll go. We'll have a quick nip through the chat. Dan says the spin-offs have taken over UTT, the main show at this point. I mean, they're all quality, so it's well worth the spin-off. Dan then says Louis Picola, inventor of the Death Valley Driver, innovator. Oh, did he Louis Picola invent that move?
I read this when I was looking into Louis Piccoli for potentially being my link for this week's match. That's widely thought of, apparently, but there is a lady who wrestles in Japan who apparently was using it before him. Okay. But nobody's 100% sure. So it's very possible that is true. So,
and if it is, that's absolutely amazing because it's used so frequently nowadays. King Pigbladder says it's not barreled, it's actually Barrington.
Oh, we apologize.
And he says Barry's a star. He also thinks the ending of this match was terrible booking, but I agree. But that's Vince for you. Cameron arriving incredibly late, but definitely catch up on. Yeah, it is absolutely, and definitely catch up on the replay, sir. Richard Stock says you're more than welcome, Mr. Griffin. A big thank you to you two also for the part you played my escapism from the sometimes toils of life. Doctor Who podcast and of course UTT. Cam then says he found out how the word nonce came about last week, and blew his tiny little man. Does it mean like something not on normal something exercise? It's about
I don't know.
Prisoners that are kept separate from other prisoners, isn't it?
Considering we throw that word around willy-nilly on this show, Cam, let us know what it means or where it comes from.
I mean, we know what it means. It means someone who's a bit of a diddler. Cam Griffin then says KPB, sir, after King Pigbladder says, hey, Cam. Richard Stock says, as a dad of 3 grown-up girls, you brave human being. The Doctor Who podcast where you guys had Charlie on, the utter proudness emanated from Sard's voice with a tear in his eye. Thanks, Mr. Flair. Will stick with me for a long time. Oh, that is absolutely amazing.
And she's one of the guests, like a proper guest. She doesn't just pop on for a sentence or two. She is going to be a full episode guest on this season coming in now.
Oh, that is amazing.
So, yeah, really looking forward to that. Amazing.
King Goodwin says the top rope powerbomb was Candido's and Skip's finish in ECW, etc. Okay. I assume that's why it looks so good. You know, a wrestler is bullshitting because he's talking.
Yeah, true.
And Dan says, if I could have heart to comments in this chat, Richard Stocks, I would. So glad this hobby of mine brings others some joy, and it's brilliant hearing about Charlie's Doctor Who exploits for him too. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah. When dad and daughter can get involved and find something that interests them both. Yeah, it just brings you closer together, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love it. I'm so lucky.
King Pigbladder says, bloody good, mate, and Barry was always a joy to watch. Cam was hoping that you would link to Funaki.
We haven't had a Funaki night yet, have we? We were going to a while back, remember?
Yeah, maybe. Could be in the next few episodes. Dan says he strongly suggests a 50-50 for next week. Agreed. No, don't do that to us, guys.
No.
King Goodwin says triple episode, both options, and a Bruce bonus, Hakushi versus Brett.
Just stop it.
CWF, that's a 50-50 poll. 2+ hours show, lads. Up the wrestling. We fucking love you, but no, don't do that, folks. So a little bit of behind the scenes. Sai actually messaged me today and says, yeah, I kind of want to get out of here like not long after 10. So you do that and we're fucked. Steve-O says it was great, surreal listening live as I always listen on podcasts. I will listen to the end later in the week. Man United are just shocking tonight. And then Cam says it's not on normal communal exercise. Yeah, I thought it was something like that. Right. And then Cam says he votes for King Goodwin's option.
It's not an option. It's not going on the poll. You can't vote for it.
Don't put. I actually dare you to test whether that option would win.
Well, all 3.
Yeah. Not saying that we'd stick with it, just as a test.
No, I can't. If I put it on there and people vote for it and it wins, we have to do it.
We can just say no.
The integrity of the show is ruined.
We'll take the second place winner. Second place.
Then they're going to fix it to be this. Oh no, it's too complicated, Mugs. Goodwin, stop causing trouble.
You can't think that much. No, it's 3 matches. I mean, we have covered multiple matches before, but it's been like very short ones, not 3 Broadways.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat. Magsy, what has the great orange racist one been spinning a yarn about now?
Let's go for it.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, hanging from a telephone wire. Squirming, pants are burning. When I lie, my hips start turning.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Look, man, I made a mistake.
So, Mr. Hogan did an interview very recently with something called, I think it's the 700 Club. And there are lots and lots of extra Hogan bullshits to go through.
Look at your little eyes light up.
I mean, I've still got months and months of episodes of Hogan Lars in the back catalogue. That just added more.
Brilliant.
But I'm not actually going to tell a Hogan La. It's because something popped up, and this is a little special treat number 2. Something popped up during the week on the Cultaholic YouTube channel. They've been doing episodes where they've been tinkering with AI to see if they can improve certain aspects of wrestling. And they got hold of an AI bot that would write you a song if you just give it a little bit of information about what you want to write. So they asked this bot to write a song about Hulk Hogan and his lying ways. Now, this has took me a lot of work to get this song onto this video, because first of all, I had to strip the YouTube video and then cut out the section that, because it's like a 20-minute video, cut out the section specifically about Hulk Hogan. Then I was going to play it on just a media player on my computer, but it wouldn't then translate the audio. So I had to upload it to an online editor, online video player for it to play. So just appreciate the amount of work that not only have the Cultaholic guys put in, but I put in for you to listen to this.
And that's where the song's originally from. Credit where it stemmed from originally. Cultaholic. Yes.
The Cultaholic guys are absolutely amazing. Definitely, if you are not subscribed to their channel, you are not a wrestling fan, because these guys are brilliant.
Okay.
But here is the song that the AI bot came up with about Hulk Hogan, and the song is entitled "Lying in the Rain." When it decides to play. Brilliant. This isn't going to work, is it? Amazing. Lovely black circle. Hopefully it will load. But if not,
got faith. It'll start.
Come on. I mean, I could try and refresh it. Give me 2 seconds. Let's just do a refresh.
No worries, mate. No worries. What I shall do in that, I'll run through
time.
I'll do the usual spiel, shall I? You can find anything I'm involved in via the network that carries this show. So that's at SJP World Media, and that's where you'll find the Doctor Who pod with Dan Griffin and I, the Waiting Room looking at Quantum Leap with the brilliant Benny Mack, various podcasts that do not have my voice, so please check them out, because you're probably sick of hearing from me. So that includes the likes of the Axe Playlist podcast, who cover Spotify playlists that people put together for them and put this together themselves. Fantastic show. There's shows covering TV, movies, all sorts. Make sure you're checking all of that out. Make sure you're subscribing, and most of all, make sure you're sharing and giving us a rating as well. I think we deserve 5 stars, because I think we're fucking glorious. Are you ready, Magsy?
Yeah. It's encoding at 59%. But yeah, I can't emphasize your words enough. The fact, like I said at the beginning, the fact that we have taken this mini sabbatical and you guys have stuck around, and absolutely amazing. It genuinely means the world to us. And we massively appreciate you. Yeah. 80% now.
Okay. Well, the last thing for me to say then would be you can find and follow this show on Twitter, Facebook, and various other places as well at @chain_wrestling. Make sure you're following that. And that's where you'll find the poll, the non-wrestling topic, and all that great stuff. So thank you so much, everybody.
Nice. Loving the mini guitar.
In the ring, he's a showman, larger than life.
Spot on.
Correct.
Hulk Hogan, the legend with his 24-inch pie.
He knew about the
He
boys.
likes to boast and brag about all his wins.
Yeah.
But can we trust a wrestler who likes to pretend?
That's a big question.
He tells tall tales, exaggerates his glory. But the truth is, it's all just a phony story.
It's got him red.
Scandal racist, Mark's made Hulk Hogan's true colors. Finally,
True colours finally.
He's a friend to many. So he claims that he sleeps with his best friend's wife, playing dangerous games.
It's going in on Hogan.
What a tangled web you weave, a wrestler with a dark side, but not the type of dark side you don't like.
Oh my
Doing your buddy's wife, keep doing your body's fight. You're always lying, but it's so true that you made love to
Oh my word.
Your python.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
That just shows how amazing AI is. They literally tap one sentence in, and within a minute, the AI bot had come up with that song. Amazing.
That is incredible. I mean, first of all, Magsy, brilliant stuff. All the work you put in to be able to bring that to us here on the show. And secondly, again, the Cultaholic guys, fantastic stuff. So entertaining, brilliant stuff. Go follow them. They are fucking fantastic. Oh, I enjoyed that so much, Mags. Thank you for that.
Not a problem. It was just one of those laugh out loud moments, and I knew it had to be involved.
There we go. So, Magsy, all that is left now, I guess, is for me to say to you, where can people find you? Because I've done all mine.
Yep. So you can find me on TikTok and on the X.com. X.com is Podfather Mags, although I don't tweet or reply or anything. On TikTok, though, I do post videos of my chickens, and now posting videos of my journey as a back gardener creating fruits and vegetables.
There we go. Fantastic stuff. One last time, at @chain_wrestling is where you'll find this show and all the stuff you need, your non-wrestling topic, your polls, and just get involved and have a chat. #CWF all the time, and have a little chat with everyone else who follows the show as well. Magsy, I had a blast. I want to say thank you so much once again to everybody for sticking with me during this sad, hard, difficult time. It means the world to me. You guys are all fantastic in the CWF. Magsy, yourself, my family, of course. I love you all so much. It's been difficult, but this evening has been fantastic, and it's put a smile back on my face. So thank you to everybody. I'm off now because there's apparently something called AI that means I can create silly content that I wasn't aware of. So I'm off now to have a play around with that. Magsy, I'll speak to you next week, my friend.
Barry Windham puts the milk in first.
Ah.